We got new details about the Superman movie, and Metallo has been teased. Let's talk about it. Welcome to the Legacy of Nerd. My name is Daniel, and we just got new details about the Superman movie from a prequel novel book and a children's book, which gives us an idea of the things that are going on before the movie and in the universe itself. So the first one I want to talk about is Baby Joey. So we've been seeing Baby Joey making appearances on toys and some artwork, but we weren't really given much detail about this character. This book and the children's book confirm that Baby Joey is Metamorpho's toddler son, and Joey will be taken from Metamorpho by Lex Luthor to be used as a bargaining chip or to get Metamorpho to do what Lex Luthor wants. So at first, when I saw this toy in Walmart, I saw like the little veiny head. I was thinking, could this possibly be like a small Brainiac or something like that? But no, we do have confirmation that this is Baby Joey. His mother is actually Sapphire Stagg, which is, if you guys saw Stagg Industries. So Rex Mason, to become Metamorpho, he, in some versions, there's some different versions, but he like the recipient of an experiment by Simon Stagg, and he basically became Metamorpho unwillingly because Stagg was upset that Rex Mason, was with his daughter. And then obviously they had a kid together named Baby Joey. So we now know more about Baby Joey. Now, Metamorpho himself has the power to transform his body into any element, even some that can harm Superman. Now, in the trailer, we saw that he's like in the cell with Superman and that he has like a glowing green arm, I think hand. I have to look at the picture. I'll put it up here. But it looks like he can transform his body into kryptonite as well, which is probably why Lex Luthor wants Metamorpho, because he will have unlimited access to kryptonite if Metamorpho is with him. So we got a little bit of an idea more on why Metamorpho would be working with Lex Luthor, and that is because of Baby Joey. So the next thing we got here is Kaiju and Baby Kaiju. So here it says that Kaiju is a giant monster that Lex uses to attack Superman and test the limits of his superpowers. And Baby Kaiju says these creatures may start off small, but they can grow quickly to become a big menace in Metropolis. But the Kaiju are not evil by nature. So the Kaiju are not bad. They just looks like they cause a lot of destruction. They're moving around. So it looks like Lex Luthor is going to create this Kaiju or use this Kaiju to test Superman, which we saw from the trailer. Superman's been fighting the Kaiju, has like fire breath. The Kaiju in itself is not evil. I wonder if this Kaiju will end up at the Fortress of Solitude, kind of like in his zoo. And I can see that happening for sure. So the next thing we got here is Hammer of Borovia. The source of his powers remains a mystery, but the Hammer of Borovia is a villain who is as strong as Superman. So there is a theory that the Hammer is actually Ultraman before he takes off the suit. So Ultraman is actually in the suit of Hammer Borovia. Now this comes from a Funko Pop that shows like we have a Hammer Borovia Funko Pop, but the chase of the Hammer is Ultraman. So the theory here is that the Hammer of Borovia is actually Ultraman, and who Ultraman is a source of discussion. There's a lot of rumors that the Ultraman is a clone, which could mean he's Bizarro. There's a theory that it's Supergirl underneath the suit, which I don't think so much. I think it's more likely the clone, but maybe it could be also Connor Kent. He is a clone as well. Maybe it's a way to introduce him as well. And of course, you know, it is Ultraman, so it could be like a multiverse version of Superman, which I sort of doubt. I don't think they'd bring multiverse in right off the bat, but who knows? And then there's some other thoughts that Ultraman is Ulysses. So that could be that as well. But we get some more ideas that the Hammer of Borovia has the powers of Superman, because we saw the laser eyes that he does against Superman. So it gives us some more credence that he is Ultraman. The next thing we got here is the Abominable Snowman. This comes from the playbook, and plain fetch, it says, Abominable Snowman live in the cold region around Superman's home, the Fortress of Solitude. Despite their difference in size, Krypto loves to chase these big creatures. And you can see here, despite it being a monster and it looks kind of scary, the Abominable Snowman actually looks scared of of Crypto. So it looks like Crypto like terrorizes these things near the Fortress of Solitude, which I thought is pretty funny. So we might see those in the movie. We've been seeing the toys of those, and I was wondering if we were going to see that in the movie, and it looks very possible that we will be seeing that in the movie. So the next character we're going to talk about is the Engineer, armed with millions of tiny robots called nanites. The metahuman known as the Engineer can assume control over all kinds of technology. So we kind of seen that in the trailer where her arm just like turns into like a saw. I wonder if it's going to be more alien-like, because I can see that happening as well. The next picture that we got, or the next character, are Raptors. And if you look at this suit, this looks very much like Lex Luthor's battle suit. So I wonder if he's going to be using these suits as a basis of them. But the Raptors are what Lex uses as highly advanced soldiers called Raptors to fight Superman and advance his criminal scheme. So those are going to be his foot soldiers in the movie. The next thing here is Green Lantern. So Green Lantern, also known as Guy Gardner, gets his power from the glowing green ring on his finger. With the ring, he can project energy and create anything he imagines. He's part of a team of metahumans committed to fighting crime and protecting the citizens of Metropolis from danger. Guy wants to name the new team to be the Justice Gang, but has not convinced his fellow team members yet. So that's his idea, and it looks like they don't have an official name yet. So they could still be Justice League International, they could still be Justice Society, or maybe even the Outsiders if Metamorpho joins. That's a possibility as well. The next character we got is Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific is one of the metahumans residing in Metropolis, sworn to defend the city and protect his citizens from danger. His brilliant invention, the T-Spears, helps him do everything from battling supervillains to running his high-tech company, Holt Industries, where he leads his civilian life as a scientist named Michael Holt. Another thing we just found out about Mr. Terrific is that his mask, like in the comics, is not paint. It's going to be like a nanotech mask, so his mask will also have functions as well. Then we got Hawkgirl. Hawkgirl soars above the city of Metropolis on her huge wings, wielding a magical golden mace that matches her custom helmet and uniform. Her power of flight lets her swoop in and out of battles to fight supervillains and rescue civilians in need. We also learned from Isabella Merced on the podcast with DC Showcase that her version of Hawkgirl will be Kendra and Shayera, and basically she is going to have past lives that were alien and Thangarian, past lives that were Egyptian. So they're merging all the characters into her, and she is going to be a version of all of that as well. We did get an overall picture of the Justice Gang in the children's book, confirming that they don't necessarily like the name the Justice Gang, but Green Lantern is trying to convince them to use that as well. So the next thing I want to talk about is Metallo. This page comes from the prequel novel book, which obviously takes place before the movie. Here it says, "I think we should wait for the police to arrive," Clark whispered. "That cyborg definitely looks dangerous." And Lois says, "And risk missing the scoop of the year?" Lois hissed. "Forget it." Before Clark could stop her, she stood up, cupped her hands around her mouth, and shouted, "Lois Lane, Daily Planet, who are you? What do you want?" The cyborg turned back, staring at Lois, the eye on the robot side of its face glowing red, which means he's going to have like half human face and half robot face, which is cool. "I am Metallo," it announced in a voice distorted by electronic amplification. "City Hall is mine. The mayor and all the others have gone, so Metropolis is mine too." And then Superman will go on to fight Metallo here. So Metallo already exists in this movie. Metallo is created by Lex Luthor, because we learn from this page right here. Lex Luthor is head of Metropolis' powerful tech company, Luthor Corp. He runs a tight ship, but while most of his underlings don't always respect him, they know not to mess with Luthor's diabolical plans, one of which includes inserting a dead assassin's brain into the metal body of a weaponized robot. Luthor's supervillain antics were largely undisturbed until a certain Superman came to town. So I think Metallo was his first like villainous act. So here we got confirmation that Lex Luthor creates Metallo, and it looks like it's going to be his first villainous act there. And obviously Superman, that's how Superman meets Metallo. So yes, we got some more confirmation that Metallo. Makes me wonder if we'll see Metallo at the beginning of this movie or referenced in the movie, because it seems to be a big event in this book. So obviously it's going to be a big event in that universe and in that movie. We also got some character descriptions of Lois Lane. Lois Lane is a reporter at the Daily Planet, always the ambitious professional. She wasn't happy to suddenly have fresh-faced Clark under her wing, but as they take on the case of a mysterious metal robot wreaking havoc in Metropolis, Lois begins to warm up to her new co-worker. We also have one for Jimmy Olsen. It says Jimmy Olsen is the photographer of the Daily Planet, working alongside Lois and Clark to get the perfect shot. He's a huge fan of Mr. Terrific, Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, and Superman, so he loves all the heroes. Honestly, we know that Jimmy Olsen is Superman's best pal, so I'm sure they're going to be great friends in the movie as well. So we got a lot here. One thing we also got from the novel book, I won't read too much into it, but basically we confirm here that Clark does wear his Superman suit under his civilian clothes. So we probably will see that classic, like him opening up his shirt. We kind of got the poster where he's sort of like tugging at his tie, gives us an idea that he's wearing the suit under clothes. So it was a cool little like reference to the comics and the older movies and basically everything that Superman wears his suit underneath his clothes. But yes, we got more details on the movie. Really hoping we seen Metallo. When I first saw this and I posted this up on Instagram and Facebook, we kind of wish we saw that first meeting of Superman and Metallo because the movie's probably like jam-packed with already so much stuff already. Just looking at the character posters of all the ones that were released this week, look how many characters are in this movie. Like, this is a big movie. And we also got confirmation that the runtime is going to be 2 hours and 9 minutes. So it's not going to be like a super oversized movie at the same time. And by the way, James Gunn confirmed there will be post-credit scenes in this movie as well. But yes, those are the updates on the details from the Superman movie for the novel prequel and the new children's book that came out. Want to get you that info, especially about the baby Joey. That was a piece of info that had not got confirmed yet, and I really am happy that we got some little bit more confirmation of that, and I'm hoping we see Metallo. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. What did you guys think about some of these details here? Are you excited about the Superman movie? Have you been collecting some of the toys? I've been looking for more of them. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and I'll see y'all next time.